Blackbeard appears, his murder of Thatch and his capture of Ace, all part of a terrifying plan that no one could have imagined. With the war at Marineford in its final stage, Whitebeard fights to avenge his fallen sons and punish the traitor who has plotted his undoing.
On the next One Piece, ending the matter. Whitebeard versus the Blackbeard pirates. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Not content with the deaths of Ace and Whitebeard, the Navy seeks to wipe out every last pirate, even as they retreat. In the midst of the fray, Akainu sets his eyes on the unconscious Luffy. Meanwhile, Blackbeard reveals his true scheme and a terrifying new power.
On the next One Piece, the show begins. Blackbeard's plot is revealed. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Having stolen Whitebeard's devil fruit power, Blackbeard rampages to his heart's content. Meanwhile, Akainu and the Navy massacre the pirates in the name of justice. As the battlefield becomes a living nightmare, Kobe stares on in horror, voices echoing in his head.
On the next One Piece, the insatiable Akainu. Lava fists pummel Luffy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
As senseless violence dyes the battlefield red with blood, Luffy's allies struggle to save him as the admirals maintain their assault. With the world burning around him, a boy who lacks the will to fight makes a stand that may change the future of the entire world.
On the next One Piece, the desperate scream. Courageous moments that will change the future. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Suddenly, the red-hair pirates appear. As the Navy stares on in shock, Law tries to escape while suffering heavy fire from the admirals. Narrowly missing a reunion with Luffy, Shanks utters a speech on the battlefield that brings the fighting to a halt.
On the next One Piece, here comes Shanks. The war of the best is finally over. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The war of the best has thrown the entire world into chaos. Emboldened by the final words of Whitebeard, the pirates once again envision a wave they can ride into a new era. However, in the vacuum left after his demise, the seas grow rougher than ever before.
On the next One Piece, mighty leaders face each other down, heralding the new era. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
At Hancock's order, Luffy is taken to Amazon Lily to hide from the Navy while he recovers. Although Law was able to tend to his injuries, when he awakens, Luffy is haunted by memories of the war and falls into deep despair.
On the next One Piece, landing at the Maiden Island, the harsh reality falls upon Luffy. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Distraught over Ace's death, Luffy recalls events from 10 years ago when the two first met. Before they were brothers or even friends, the boys lived in the mountains dreaming of the days when they would take to the sea. This is a tale of childhood, of brotherhood, and of tragedy.
On the next One Piece, Luffy and Ace. Story of how the brothers met. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Mountains of discarded trash reach toward the sky in the criminal-infested junkyard known as Gray Terminal. With dreams of buying a pirate ship in their hearts, Ace and his partner in crime, Sabo, rob the thieves and scavengers in this den of lawlessness.
On the next One Piece, here comes Sabo, the boy at the Gray Terminal. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Ace and Sabo storm Portumee's hideout to rescue Luffy from his captors. Outnumbered and overpowered, the two boys show incredible strength. But when Sabo prepares to flee, Ace makes an unexpected decision that could spell their demise.
On the next One Piece, I won't run! Ace's desperate rescue operation! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Luffy, Ace, and Sabo make a name for themselves in Grey Terminal. While celebrating their latest victory, a surprising truth about Sabo is revealed, and the boys make a promise to one another that will shape their future.
On the next One Piece, to the sea someday, the pledge of the three brats. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
The antics of Luffy and his friends began to test Dadan's patience, and when Garp unexpectedly pays a visit, the situation becomes desperate. Determined to stay on their path, the three boys must learn to stand on their own 2 feet.
On the next One Piece, leaving the Dadan family for good, the kids' hideout has been built. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
When Luffy and his friends have a dangerous encounter with a wild bear, a strange old man comes to their rescue. Despite his appearance, he claims to have once challenged Gold Roger. Eyes wide with wonder, Luffy is eager to hear an untold tale of the king of the pirates.
On the next One Piece, Luffy becoming an apprentice? A man who fought against the king of the pirates! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Ace and Sabo visit Nagari to see how Luffy is faring in his new apprenticeship. As the three boys compete to decide who will be captain, Nagari reminds them that it takes more than strength to be a leader. Facing off with a massive tiger, they must find their answer in battle.
On the next One Piece, the battle against the big tiger. Who is going to be captain? I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Sabo's days of adventure come to an end as he is forced to remain in Hightown, apart from his friends. However, fate soon brings the three boys together again, as Luffy and Ace take on work for the pirate Blue Jam, and Sabo uncovers a terrifying conspiracy.
On the next One Piece, freedom taken away, the nobles plot closing in on the brothers. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Luffy and Ace unwittingly aided Blue Jam in the plan to burn down Grey Terminal, and may now perish themselves. However, when Blue Jam runs into troubles of his own, the night descends into chaos. As the flames reach higher and higher, Sabo struggles in vain to save his friends.
On the next One Piece, the fire has been set! The Grey Terminal in crisis! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Even as the fires in Grey Terminal threaten to consume them, Ace and Luffy fight Blue Jam with all their might. In the wake of the tragedy, Sabo decides to seize freedom in his hands and takes to the sea as a celestial dragon arrives in Hightown.
On the next One Piece, where can freedom be found? A sad departure of a boy! I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Ace and Dadan return to their hideout safely after their battle with Blue Jam. However, the mountain bandits scarcely have time to celebrate before the news of Sabo's tragedy reaches their ears. Luffy despairs and Ace vows revenge, but a letter from Sabo changes their perspective.
On the next One Piece, take good care of him. A letter from the brother. I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
Luffy and Ace bury their sorrow and grow stronger day after day as they train to be pirates. As time marches on, they soon bid farewell to their childhood home and take to the sea at last, in hopes of achieving the dream that Sabo could not.
On the next One Piece, to live up to the promise, departures of their own, I'm gonna be king of the pirates! Subscribe, you guys! Join our crew on the One Piece YouTube channel!